podcast. I'm Mirakle Monique.
And I'm Alan J.
And make sure you like and subscribe because we want to bring more content to you. Okay? We love doing this and we love spreading God's message. We love bringing you practical religion. We love doing this and we want to keep doing it. So please make sure you give us the support that we need. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we're on to the next topic, and we just got done discussing predictive programming, right? And how that can lead to us really not knowing who the actual enemy is in the world, right? And that can lead to us not also being aware of what's going on. And that means we could possibly becoming desensitized to sin and Satan in general. And we see this a lot because when it comes to sin, it seems that there is a constant narrative to flip all of it on its head and somehow make light of it, right? Think about this. We're culturally celebrating Pride. We have a whole month for Pride. And that's one of the sins that God tells us to let go of, right? When it comes to being in fellowship with him and even with our fellow brother or sister in Christ, that letting go of that pride is something that will need to happen at some point because that is a sin.
You don't even have to be a Christian to know that, this scripture, pride comes before destruction. I think that's, I want to say a lot of Greek philosophers have, said that, and they have taken a little bite from off, the word, like, because we know that, hey, pride really does come before destruction.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you're doing that, okay, I don't condone any type of, I would say, hurtful thing towards like someone because they live their life any different. I'm definitely not, one of those people. I believe in everyone should be, treated the same with respect and honor and, everything. But you got to look at the purpose behind that word pride that you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why you having these parades? Why you doing this? Why so.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes into, the narcissistic culture that we talked about before, right? We're doing what serves me, what serves me. And we value money over relationships. Like I was at church the other day, maybe last week or something. And it was like a teenage boy that came in. I'm not, no shame on a teenage boy or anything. He just being a teenager in 2024, right? Yep. And so he wore this like sweatshirt and it had a saying on it that I hear all the time. And it was like, it said something like, make money, not friends. And that made me so sad because we really subscribe to these ideologies as if they're truth and as if they are actually helpful to our lives. We value things like money over relationships with other people. And we wonder why nobody wants to be around us at the end of the day, at the end of our lives and things like that. And so it seems like every sin that holds a very strong spirit is being flipped on its head and being made light of. And we're even seeing, celebrities dressing as demons or Satan at concerts, and they're performing rituals openly. We have people announcing that they're witches and that they're proud of it and they came from a witch background and things of that nature. And so we're out here messing with spiritual things that we don't fully understand because we've never cracked open the Word of God. And we're out here claiming that these things are fine because I don't see it that way. If I don't see it that way, it doesn't mean that. But that's not how truth works. Truth is truth. And at the end of the day, it's going to affect you the way it's going to affect you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you see it. Because, for example, right, this Taylor Swift video, this little clip of, it's like one of her concerts. And I forgot what clip I sent. I think it was the clip where people were noticing that people were like fainting at her concerts. And this is the same tour that she just had, the Eras tour, I think, where people were fainting and she was like performing like witchcraft on stage openly. And I think she even said that she was too. It was like a witch coven on stage and everything.
Yeah.
And people were also saying that they were getting amnesia from the concert as well. Like there were parts of the concert that they could not remember.
What?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is crazy.
I know.
What we
I
getting
know.
ourselves into?
Amnesia apparently is a thing. Some Taylor Swift fans are saying they had such an incredible time at her Eras concert, they can't remember parts of it. And scientists say it stems from sensory overload.
Witchcraft overload. Oh no, don't play this because you're gonna get me striked. La 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 la. Why are you playing her music?
Taylor Swift fans are feeling as the pop superstar travels across the country on her sold-out Eras tour.
The concert overall exceeded every expectation that you could have imagined to have. It's just overwhelming in the best way.
Swifties posting on
Y'all are bewitched. I'm sorry. A lot of people are posting how they're having these extremely emotional experiences. In a nosebleed seat, looking at her way down there, she's about this big, sing a song, and you're crying and screaming, having this out-of-body experience. You don't think that's demonic? You're a grown adult. I mean, you don't think that's a little bit weird that I'm having this out-of-body experience? People are saying this amnesia happening to me.
Post-concert amnesia apparently.
Yeah. What do you think about that? And his comments.
I'm gonna have to take a deep breath on that one.
Even I first thing I noticed when that clip played was the smile on the journalist's face.
Yeah,
She's
so
announcing.
that-
Yeah, apparently
'Cause she's
post-concert
clueless and
amnesia is a thing. And that
Predictive
brings me
programming.
back. That brings me back to the desensitization. Is that the word? Desensitization. Gosh, that is a word. But it brings me back to being desensitized by sin and all the activities of Satan in general, right? Because we're not seeing this as a troubling thing. We're seeing it as, oh, it's just sensory overload. Well, no, I've never been to a concert where I didn't remember parts of it. That's never happened with me.
You're like, 2 hours later, I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
Where am I?
I never been to a concert where I just started hysterically crying and getting overly emotional because of who was on stage. That's why music is so powerful in general, and the enemy likes to use music in this way because it's so powerful. And he was in charge of music in heaven at one point, and so that brings it back to that, because Sam Smith did the same thing where I think he was at an awards show.
Yeah,
I believe
I remember seeing that.
he was at the Grammys, where he was dressed as Satan. He was dressed as the devil and performing openly live, with this attire on, and backup dancers wearing similar attire, and people had a grand old time with it. Yeah. So that happened too, and that was a big thing as well. It kind of blows me that people are so big on trying to cause controversy within their art. Like, I understand wanting to be different and wanting to stand out, but there's a reason you chose that attire and that theme for that specific event.
Yes.
On a big platform like that. There's a reason you did that. And you might not even fully understand what that reason is, because honestly, this is a play on the enemy inserting his agenda into your thoughts and your spirit, whereas you think you're just being artsy and free and whatever you're doing, and you're celebrating yourself and you're celebrating your art, and you think it's all innocent, right? And so that's why I say we're becoming desensitized to it, because now we're looking at this as another form of art. We're looking at symbols of Satan and even Satanism as a practice. We're looking at symbols of that as a form of art.
And you looking at the manifestation of what he's given himself to from a spiritual standpoint. So I just pulled up, I think it's like a 2015 or maybe a earlier picture of Sam Smith prior to him giving.
Oh yeah, he used to look normal.
Look at that. Look at that. That's him.
He used to look normal, right?
He looks like a normal,
That's what Hollywood
fella,
will do to you.
Next door, that I was like, hey man, yeah, I hang out with you now. Now your hips is thicker than Beyonce's and Shakira's. So I'm like, what is going on?
I know, we gotta pray for these people for real, because this is so troubling. Because Sam Smith did not always look this way, act this way,
and his songs weren't even, I mean, I was vibing with some of the songs.
No, his songs when he first came out, they were very beautiful.
Yeah,
they were very beautiful.
Now it's distasteful to me or whatever, because I'm like, now, okay, do your thing, but it's showing their allegiance to whatever that they, prime example, look at that.
He was like a nice looking young man, don't he? Like, and now he's half naked dressed as Satan on stage.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Looking like nah, I ain't gonna say that word.
Yeah. I don't know what you about to say.
I didn't even know what I was about to say, but go ahead.
Oh my God. I also want to show this clip of Doja Cat, right? Because she's been very controversial lately. When she basically rebranded herself, she told all her fans to get lost, rebranded herself, and said, I'm about to start making a different kind of music. She came out first with Attention. I like that song. I thought it was a good song. Yeah, I really do. And then she came out with Paint the Town Red. I was like, okay, I can't sing that part, She the Devil. I can't do that. So I don't really vibe with the song like that, but it was very TikTok famous. And she even featured the Grim Reaper in the music video and things like that. A lot of death symbols and things like that in the Grim Reaper and stuff like that. And then she did something that's most controversial of all. I haven't even heard this song because I haven't physically heard the music of this song, because I didn't even want this song in my spirit at all, because she was literally dressed as a black demon climbing wall. Like, have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, no. You don't need to see it. But she was dressed as a demon. She had the horns, the tail. She was all black. She had the claws and the teeth, like the fangs and everything. Like, she looked like she came out the pits of hell. She did. And her song is called Demons. She even had the girl who played Wednesday back in like the 90s on that
from
movie.
The Addams Family?
From the Addams Family. Yeah, exactly. She had the woman that played that. That's what she looked like.
I saw that image before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty scary.
It's very scary, and I don't even like looking at it for too long, to be completely honest, because it does make me uncomfortable. And I even had a conversation with a friend who was like, well, she doesn't mean it that way. And I'm like, I'm sure she doesn't. In fact, she has a clip where she talks about how she means it, and it's not like she means it that way. So we're gonna check that out.
And I'm sure you see it on social media. Our industry, the entertainment industry, is always like tied to like this like Illuminati, Satan worship, boom. And so then popular person comes out looking like Satan. Here they go again, promoting this Satanism and et cetera, et cetera. Somebody like myself goes, nah, they're just doing art. She's trying to scare y'all because she knows that you're gonna have some visceral reaction to this imagery.
Or I'm minding my fucking business. So there's, I like the idea of I did it on purpose, and it's this big ruse to like make people react.
Right.
But I also like the idea of, what it is that I love this piece of visual art. I like this visual for this sound. So I chose that visual and I applied it to the sound, and people made up what they want, which is what you do with art. You interpret it how you want to interpret it. Everybody has the right to interpret it how they want. But this whole like,
you're a Satanist,
very confident Satanism thing is like, I'm sorry, when the fuck did I say that I was a Satanist?
Right.
When did I ever say anything, or even go marching outside the church talking about, no, when the fuck did I say that? And
Yeah. So what gets me about that is when she starts with saying, or I'm minding my business. Ma'am, you didn't just make the music video and hide it in your archives. You put this out for the public to see, view, and perceive in the way that they do, right? And this is, yeah, she actually has some imagery in her Attention music video too, the song that I said that I liked, right? And it just goes back to kind of a lot of what the industry is doing when it comes to these artists. They are making it seem like these symbols are for artist's sake, for artistry's sake, right? Whereas you're putting it out there for people to see, you're putting it out there for people to perceive as how they do, right? And you want to say that we shouldn't take it seriously and that you're not a Satanist. You don't have to say that you're a Satanist to be one, because Satanism doesn't mean you worship Satan. It actually means you worship yourself.
Ooh,
That's the
she's cooking.
that no, really, that is the ideology behind Satanism. It's self-idolatry.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It doesn't mean you sit and give tithes and offerings to Satan. That doesn't mean that. It literally means you see yourself as God. That's what it means. And even then, like, that's exactly
good.
the culture we live in right now. And you're putting out these images that celebrate this kind of thing. I'm sorry, but if it talks like a duck, walks like a duck, and looks like a duck, it's a duck.
Quiet, quiet.
That's what it is. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think she said a lot without saying things, and I can tell when people are not saying that, because I mean I do this when I'm talking on a platform, like she was truly thinking about what she was going to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I was watching her, I was listening to what she was saying, but I was really trying to capture what type of spirit that she was feeding off to be able to give us what she gave as far as her rebuttal or comment towards his, questioning. Because, I mean, I think that she is, in my opinion, just from her makeup, she seemed more of a tortured person
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah.
And I was also looking at the tattoos on her arm. I was trying
Yeah.
to find out what that one specific one was, and it looks like something that was, but I can't call it. But yeah, with that, I don't buy it. Like, yeah, she may not know 100% what she's doing, but a lot of times behind the scenes, they actually influence them to do this. Oh yeah, I'll do this. This should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, people don't take it seriously, but it's real, because these celebrities and artists, they're still using the imagery, visuals, auditory responses, and likeness that represents these evils. It's kind of like, like I said earlier, have you ever had a moment where you couldn't get an annoying song out of your head, right? It's the same deal with how these things can simmer in your spirit. And, we talk about things like, it's so funny how we we could sit on both sides of the coin and act like they're not contradictory, because culturally, especially with Black people in particular, we talk about the way degenerate rap lyrics affect our young boys and young girls. And at the same time, we don't want to take seriously the images of Satan. It's weird. And the stuff is real, whether we want to believe it or not. And indulging in whatever makes you feel good is Satanism, again, because it's self-fulfillment. And it may be for giggles. It may not be real to you. It's just a cute thing, you're participating in. That's kind of what she's indicating. I like this, so I chose this. Why do you like it? Because, okay, what if someone decide to tattoo KKK or the Nazi symbol on themselves?
Yeah.
Well, they like it. They chose it. What's the problem? right? It doesn't mean what you think it means to them. They just like the symbol.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that to them. Oh, now it does. Now it does. Okay.
Representation.
You can't pick and choose when something represents something else, because at the end of the day, it just does. And let's say, she's the type to say, to even do that, and she doesn't care, Again, why are those specific symbols cute to you? Why those? Do you ever dive deep into the mindset that you have of yourself as to why you think those things are resonating with you and your spirit? Like, you don't think that's a problem? It seems she's in a state of rebellion right now. Because why did you just so happen to choose symbols that represent all the evil discussed within the view of Christianity? Why specifically that? Muslims have demons too that you could have chosen from. There are other religions that you could have represented.
Hinduism or whatever.
Exactly. So why I think she had pentagons on her arm too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, even in her what video is that? The Paint the Town Red music video. Why specifically the apple? Why the fruit, right? Like the fruit represented in the Bible. Why the Grim Reaper? Because within her spirit, these things resonate with her, like I said. And so why do they resonate? Because currently her spirit is in a darker place. And that's very obvious from like what you were saying, like from her makeup to her tattoos, she's very tortured right now. And you see, like, humans like us can be really just ignorant, that we often believe that we are in full control of everything.
Ooh.
And that we get to choose what means what to us. But I'm sorry to tell you that that's just not true. Everything had meaning and was set in motion before we even got here. And so, yes, we were given dominion, absolutely. But we had to be given that.
Yep.
We are not the creators. We are the gatekeepers of all these other spirits and forces, because we are the portals to these things entering Earth. And we've allowed a lot of them to come here.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, you don't even have to be quote unquote Christian to believe, what they're, doing. So the thing is, even for the super just spiritual people, like, hey, energy is everything. What type of energy is that promoting? Just answer the question. What type of energy is that
for the New Agers.
Is it a positive energy where the moon and rocks is just going to give you good energy? Why do people burn sage? If
there's a bad energy, why do you do? Yeah.
So is that going to promote a good energy based on historical? We can take the Bible out of it based on just historical, facts or just stories. The devil or images like that was always considered of a not so good spirit.
Yeah.
Or not so good energy. Like, come on now. We don't have to play. We all are smart enough and educated enough. If we can say, oh, look how precious that baby is when when that baby is smiling at his dad. Like, that is so wholesome. Oh, look at this image of her crawling up walls and
it's like, do you feel good when you look at that?
Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
We can go to the next thing.
Exactly. Too many Christians are becoming like everyone else in the world and taking sin far too lightly, right? But Paul reminds us in Ephesians chapter 5, 7 through 14, therefore, do not be partakers with them. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. For the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. And find out what pleases the Lord. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. This is what it said. Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you.
come on with the come on.
And that's that on that. Because the thing about it, again, there's a reason we were called out of the darkness and into his marvelous light, because we needed to. Oh, there's more. Sorry. But yeah. And so with that being said, we have to understand why we're in the place that we are now and understand that Jesus is the one that can take us out of that light and why we're there in the first place. Any final thoughts on that?
I think you said it all.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're asleep, you probably need to definitely wake up. I mean, it's common sense to some degree on the distractions, on the blatant disrespect that I would say that's directed towards Christianity, that's directed towards the cross. It's really an open road call. It's like, hey, I'm gonna need y'all to choose which side y'all gonna be on. And I think, in my opinion, this could be a way that God is like, okay, well, I'm gonna allow y'all to go and do your thing, right now, because they think that they have a certain power. It's like, oh yeah, God is silent. He ain't doing nothing. But hey, it's actually being exposed. It's nothing that is like, okay, if we didn't never see this, everybody sees this or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can't say that people are crazy or they're not conscious enough to understand that, hey, this is their outlet.
I like the word plug.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about modern media, and a lot of people today are pleasantly surprisingly, trying to look for ways to hinder the influence that it is having on themselves and their children. So a lot of them are actually moving off grid. So I wonder if that is a practical solution to it all. Right when we come back.
Like for the algorithm.